Okay, so I wanted to make a video about me while I'm sick with the disease that cannot be named because I wanted to highlight how taboo it is now to have symptoms like you're sick, like a cold or flu symptoms, like what I have right now, which is stuffiness in the nose and congestion in my chest and a little bit of a cough, and this is totally normal. Okay, there's nothing wrong with getting a cold. I'm It's crazy that we have gotten to this place, like even me who knows it's normal to get a cold, and I have been hesitating showing that I'm sick lately or telling people that I'm sick, because of the stigma, and not just the stigma, the dehumanization of the human being for having a natural physiological response to the environment that they live in. This cold and flus and getting infectious diseases is a natural phenomenon that happens, and we are teaching children that this is abnormal and that people that get sick need to be treated differently, and that you need the only way to protect to not have that is to take experimental injections by big pharma, and that, like a little sniffle or a sneeze is something to be ashamed of and afraid of. This is insanity. This is not just mental health, like, oh, I have anxiety, or I have which is also, I'm not like trying to diminish anxiety or anything, but this is insanity. This is psychotic. This is severe mental illness, to be afraid to have a to get sick, you guys, and then not only to be so afraid to get sick but from this in particular, like even me, who has decolonized this mind from day one, sorely, in this third eye, alhamdulillah. When I started to feel symptoms, there were moments where I was like, oh shit, what if this gets bad? Just, micro moments, like where I had that thought would drop into my mind. And because I know not to follow that, and I know that thought is a false thought, that thought is actually a program, because that we've been told for months and months now, and I had that thought because it's like, well, we've been told that this is going to go bad if I get sick. And so that thought, that program, is potentially what is making people really sick when they do get the disease that can't be named, or even when they don't get it. They're just in a constant state of fear and anxiety to the point where they can't think rationally, and they are asking for, actually, for measures to control their environment because they're so afraid, right? To control everyone's environment because they're so afraid. This is like the biggest mental mind fuck ever happening to the masses right now. And we really have to know that mental health is not just about dealing with the fears, the anxieties we have, and the fears that we have, if we have fears and phobias and compulsions or whatever, and whatever diagnosis. No, mental health is not just a diagnosis. that some person in a lab coat made up and were said came from some book on psychiatry and mental diseases. Okay, no. Mental illness is this mass psychosis that everybody is having on repeat in their minds and in their behaviors, and it's commanding all of their decisions, and it's reorganizing their entire life. Is this disease, if I get it, it's going to be bad. It's going to go bad. And I mean, if that's not, that's beyond mental. This is what leads to mass genocides and concentration camps, is when entire people are afraid and of a person that might be sick. It's normal to be sick. It's normal, you guys, to have a cough and a cold. It's not it's like suddenly everybody forgot. Everybody forgot that, like 5-year-olds have snot coming down their nose all the time. Have you ever been a kindergarten teacher? I mean, like, have you ever been in a kindergarten classroom? Those kids are boogers everywhere. They are what keep us healthy, the kids. We get sick and we get better. When we learn to get sick, we learn to get better. That's not to say this disease is the same for everybody. Nobody said that. Stop conflating things. Stop making up stories. Stop listening to the programs. Stop repeating their parroting. Mental health is about being aware of your thoughts and witnessing them and not identifying that with them. Knowing when a thought is a truth and when a thought is a program, or it's a lie, or it's the ego, or it's a demon, or it's a waswasa, a whispering from something with, malevolent intentions. Mental health is about you being aware of your thoughts and knowing how to think. Really, that's what mental health is. It's owning your thoughts. It's owning what you're thinking about. When I have the thought, what if this goes bad? That is not my thought. That is a program that somebody has been bombarding me with. The planet has been bombarding me with for over a year and a half. I'm so proud of my kids and my husband. Everybody was so chill with this. Nobody panicked, and I've seen that two of the biggest predictors of hospitalization from this disease that shall not be named is comorbidities, like the usual ones, the obesity, diabetes, heart disease. And the second one is fear and anxiety. So alhamdulillah, I have the capacity to, and it is not like I overnight am able to like look at my thoughts and stuff. Like, it takes practice, it takes work to start knowing, to discern your mind, to discern what's going on, where are these things coming from? Is it mine? Is it somebody else's? It's just of energy. You don't have to hold on to it. So I wanted to finish up by saying, I'm not saying that, this disease is the same for everybody. Of course, it is, severe in certain populations, and I believe in focused, focused protection, where we're protecting the vulnerable. Um, but aside from that, more than anything, I wanted to just close up with the idea that, the 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 mental sort of, the abuse that we've been sustaining as a people with the mind programming, the it's like a relentless machine, a propaganda machine, and it is having an effect on your mental health, on all of our mental health. And we have to make a very concerted effort right now to pay attention, and to this is the time we're being asked, actually, the reason why this is happening, the reason why things are getting so extreme and in our face like this, and the abuser is just intensifying the abuse, is so that we can actually finally look at it and differentiate and say, this is not mine. This is not a real thought. This is not. This is a program. This is a propaganda. This does not belong to me. What is the truth? To start listening inwards, turning inwards for the truth, rather than allowing the dumpage, the things that are being dumped into our minds, those those imprints and those things that are just being dumped into our mind, are coding our being and our behavior, and they're making us sick. And if we I think it's very deliberate that they are, very, the fear mongering is so extreme. I mean, it's always very extreme. Whenever they pick a villain or they pick a target to other, whether it's, the Muslim terrorists, or the black criminal, or whatever migrants, whatever stereotype. In this case, it's a villain virus. Um, the fear mongering has to be intense, because otherwise they can't take certain actions for without us being so afraid. But the fear mongering, I think, is also deliberate, so that we physically get sicker when exposed to this virus. That I think a lot of, actually, the severity of the disease can possibly be attributed to the fear and anxiety around it, and is actually psychosomatic, that it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, that because we're expecting things to go bad, the universe will match us. The universe basically just is a mirror of our internal belief system. And that is what mental health is about. If you are going to do anything during Mental Health Awareness Week, I want you to make yourself aware of what you believe, aware of your belief system. Make yourself aware of your thoughts. And you don't have to follow any of them. You don't have to let them take over. They are not the senior in this circle of beings, right? They're um they're there for you, so that you can explore them, so that you can see the universe that is what's inside you, so you can see what's inside you, and keep what is pure light, yours, what the creator, what your creator intended for you, the truth that the creator is constantly speaking to you in your heart. And filter out, you need to compost out, release all that does not belong to you, which is not just the programming that we're receiving now, but the programming of lifetimes of our ancestors, and of our own experiences, of our inner child, of our all of our archetypes. But when we can just bring awareness That is the most powerful thing we can do, is to bring awareness to our thoughts and to bring awareness to our beliefs, because once we are aware, then we are no longer attached. We can then move from the place of authenticity within us, not from the place of a program or a fear, because we can see the difference.